Today's meditation comes from 2 King chapter 5. I would like to title to it Sickness Brought Salvation. 2 King chapter 5 verse 1 says, Naaman, the captain of the army of the king of Aram, was a great man with his master. He was highly respected because by him the Lord had given him victory. But he was a leper. The Naaman might have gone to the various places for taking the treatment. But Naaman, he did not get recovered from his sickness. God has the plans for the Naaman's life. While looking at the Naaman, his wife also worrying so much about his sickness. Proverbs chapter 19 verse 21 says, people can make a lot of plans, but only God's plan prevails. The Naaman might have the various plans, but the God's plans are going to be applied. When the Naaman's wife was worrying so much about his sickness, and she was crying, the Hebrew small servant girl came and told to Naaman's wife, in my place there is a man called Elisha. He was a prophet. He can able to do the wonderful miracles. He can heal. He can heal our masters with the help of the God. If our master goes, I am confident he can get recovered from his sickness. When she heard from her servant and she had the faith, immediately she went and told to the Naaman. Our servant said, in our place there is a man called Elisha. You should go there. The Naaman also trusted the words of his servant and he decided to go to Israel to get recovered from his sickness. He had the faith. Maybe Prophet Elijah can heal. With that strong faith, he decided to go. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 says, worry ends when faith begins. He was worrying about his sickness. When he had the faith, worries is gone. Naaman had the faith upon the words of the servant God, faith upon the prophet Elijah. Here we can learn various important lessons. The small little girl was separated from her family members. This girl was separated from her community. And even though she was there in the heathen land, the God was using this small girl to witness about our living God. And she did not think this good thing happened for our master because he separated from my family. I should be very happy. She did not think in that. She decided to help. This is what the Christianity. This is what we needed in these days. Luke chapter 6 verse 27. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Even though Naaman separated from her family, but she was trying to do good things. The Naaman approached the king of Syria, Aram. I would like to go to the Israel. I wanted to get recovered from my sickness. The king Aram was very happy and he gave the precious cloth. He gave so much gold coins and he gave so many servants along with him to give the companion. And he gave one letter to the Naaman. So here Naaman started his journey from Syria. I'm not sure how many days he traveled it, but with the complete faith, he traveled all the way and reached to the king of Israel. King of Israel, when he received the letter, and he was worried so much about it. After receiving the letter, the Jerome opened the letter. A letter goes like this. Now when this is come unto thee, behold, I have here with sent Naaman, my servant to thee, that thou mayest recover him from his leprosy. After receiving this letter, the king of Israel was worried so much about what to say and how can I heal, and he was worrying so much about that. Then Naaman and his servant Jerome made it as a proper arrangement and he gave the royal treatment to them. But the Naaman was not interested the treatment which is receiving from the king of Jerome. He wanted to get recovered from his sickness. He wanted to go away from he wanted to go away from Israel. This is what his plan. The king called all the astrologers, physicians, and everybody. Everybody saw that letter. Nobody was able to give answer. Jerome was worried so much. He tore his cloth and he was pleading to the God's help. And he says like this, "Hear my God, to kill or make alive, that this man send a man to me to heal him from his leprosy." I'm not a God. He was worrying so much about this. And he tore his clothes and he was crying it. Verse 8 says, "Now when the Elijah, the man of God, heard the king of Israel had torn his cloth, he sent message to the king, 'Why have you torn your cloths? Please let the man come to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel.'" King Jerome was a little bit relaxed. He was a little bit relaxed. And he gave some of his soldiers to companions of Naaman's army. Finally, Naaman started his journey towards the prophet Elijah. He reached to the prophet Elijah's home, but nobody was there to welcome him. Nobody was there to receive him. But the Naaman is expected how the king of Israel received. Everybody might be waiting. Everybody is going to give me the proper welcome, but nobody was there to receive it. One of the Naaman's servant shouted, "Is there anyone inside the home? Please come out." He shouted, but nobody responded in the beginning. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2 says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." Now, my dear believer, the Naaman was a great man. The Naaman who is given the lot of victory to the Syria. God is expecting from the Naaman the humility, gentleness, and patience. Finally, one of the servants of prophet Elijah came out, and he went back to the Elijah. There is a Naaman. Prophet Elijah said, "Tell the Naaman to go to the Jordan River. Tell him to dip himself 7 times. He will recover from his sickness." He did not come out. The Naaman was very upset. The Naaman was very upset because the treatment he got, he was very upset. A man's pride will bring him low. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 23. He was having pride. He gave the lot of victories. He was thinking, "I'm the great man." The Naaman was upset. He decided he wanted to go back to Syria, and they started their journey. But one of servant requested, "My Lord, all the way we came from Syria. Why can't we go to the Jordan River? Why can't we try this also? Maybe he can recover from your sickness." He pleading his masters. Finally, the Naaman decided to go to the Jordan River along with his army. So the Naaman got into the water. First time he dipped himself, there was no recovery from his sickness. Second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, still the leprosy was there. God is testing the patient. God is seeing the Naaman's faith. The seventh time, when the Naaman dipped into the water, all the soldiers were very excited, and they were seeing what is going to happen for our master. They were waiting eagerly. Finally, Naaman came out of the water and praising and glorifying God's name. Now here we can see the many Syrian army were experienced the miracles done by our living God in the life of the Naaman. I believe the many of Naaman's soldiers might be converted. Naaman's soldiers might be believed it. Luke chapter 4 verse 27 says, "And there were the many lepers in Israel in the time of Elijah, the prophet, and none of them were cleansed, but only the Naaman the Syrian." The many believers were there during the prophet Elijah time. And they are the believers, but nobody was recovered from their sickness. Only the Naaman was recovered it. The God has the plans for the life of the Naaman. The God wanted to use the Naaman to witness about our living God in the heathen nation. Naaman did not think in his heart, anyway, I recovered from my sickness, I should go back to the Syria. But he decided he wanted to go back to the prophet Elijah and give him the offering and give him the precious things. He wanted to say thanks. That time, prophet Elijah came out of his home and he told to the Naaman, I don't need your gifts. You can take back to your home. Go with the peace. God is going to help you. When Naaman came first time to see prophet Elijah, he did not come out. After the miracle happened, the prophet Elijah came and blessed him. While Naaman was traveling back to his place, and he was to share his testimony with the prophet Elijah. 2 King chapter 5 verse 15 says, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. The Naaman is giving the testimony. There is no God in the entire world but only the Israel. That means he did not only left the leprosy in the Jordan River. He's carrying with the new strength, new spirit. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says, those who trust in the Lord will find the new strength. He trusted in the Lord. He believed our God is the living God. He was carrying the testimony from Israel. He left all his sinful flesh. He left all leprosy with a new skin, with a new God. He was traveling to the Syria. Verse 18, Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 20 says, the soul shall sinneth, it shall die. The leprosy is completely gone. He recovered from his sickness. He carried with the new flesh and with the new God, he reached to the Israel. So he reached to the Syria. My dear believers, we can learn very important lessons from the Naaman's life. He did not only left his leprosy in Jordan River. He carried the living God. He carried the message from Israel to the Syria. I'm not sure how many people are converted. I'm not sure how many people have believed our living God. But I can tell you one thing. But the many people come to know about our living God in the heathen land. Because he carried the testimony. It is not only he carried the testimony. The Naaman got the salvation. Because of his sickness, he got the salvation. Sometimes in our lives also, the sickness and the problems will come. It will bring us too close to the God. We need to be patient and humble, and we need to depend upon our living God. When we depend upon our living God, each and every problem can go away. My dear believers, in the same way, we have to live our sinful life. We have to be filled with the new spirit. When we filled with the new spirit, we can stand for our God. We can witness about our living Father. We can glorify his name. My dear believers, stand for the Christ so that the life you live, the way you act, the people can experience, the people can follow us. May God bless all of us.